Hi, my name is Jane Powell. Welcome to Community Connections, brought to you by the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation. This is a show showcasing community involvement. Today I have two guests that I am excited for you to meet. Welcome to the show. Chip Shaffer, Connie Phillips, so glad you're here.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Now, we're going to talk about the Boone County Community Foundation. Chip, I know you are the vice president of the board. Connie, you're the managing director. So I am anxious to learn a little bit more. I think I do know some about your organization, but I'm anxious to learn more, and I'm anxious to share the information with others. Chip, why don't you give us some history about the foundation?
Sure. We were formed a little over 20 years ago as an affiliate of the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation. Mm-hmm. And that's a relationship that we've enjoyed from the beginning and to the present time. When you're starting out as a community foundation, there's a lot of expertise needed, and we drew upon the expertise of the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation in terms of accounting and legal issues, but most importantly, investment. It's a foundation taking care of endowed funds, and so when we had our first dollar of endowment, it was invested with money managers, and we have enjoyed that relationship into today.
Great. It is about raising money and building that and using it for your community. Connie, how do you go about starting a fund?
Well, through a gift of $10,000, of course that could be more than $10,000, a donor can create a fund with its own name and its own purpose. Mm-hmm. So we have 5 funds that they can choose from. We have an unrestricted type that those funds generate our spending for our discretionary grant cycle. We have a field of interest. The donor will choose or name an area of need that fund needs to address. We have a donor designated. That fund is, when that fund is established, the donor can designate and name a specific area or specific organization.
So if I love puppies, I could create a donor advised fund or donor designated mm-hmm. fund to care for puppies of Boone County. Is that right?
Yes. Well, you can name like the animal shelter, mm-hmm. and of course then that annual grant distribution goes to that particular organization mm-hmm. each year.
And of course I pick puppies, but that could be small children, that could be senior citizens, that could be a community library. Yes. That fund could be directed anywhere. Is that right?
Right, correct. Then we have a donor advised, and that's kind of what it states. The donor advises where that fund is to go to each year, mm-hmm. where that grant distribution is to go to each year. And then we have the scholarships, and of course that is scholarships that are given to students to help further their education. And the donor can choose the criteria of that scholarship when they establish it. We do have 25 funds right now with the foundation and one that is building, so if a donor wouldn't want to start their own fund, they can always give to any of the funds that we have.
So if I didn't have $10,000 to create a fund designated to puppies, I could take my sum of money and put that towards another fund. Is that right?
Correct.
I like that. So you mentioned a grant process. How's that work?
Well, it's an annual process, mm-hmm. and the first Friday of every May, our grant proposals are due into the office for Connie's attention, and those forms are all online at our website. And when they come in, Connie will work with the charity on the grant proposal just to make sure that it complies with all of our rules to where it is an acceptable grant. It mm-hmm. meets our criteria. Then it's referred to our grant committee, which is made up of 2 members of the board of directors and then a group of volunteers from throughout the county. And each of those members of the committee will take a grant and over a period of the next 2 to 3 weeks conduct due diligence on the grant. They'll go to the site, talk to the people about their program, and just really get a feel for what they hope to accomplish and the sustainability of that. Then that information will be brought back to the grant committee. We'll make a decision. It's a competitive process, And they will make a recommendation to the full board. Then the full board will vote on the grants and pass that recommendation on to the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation. We also have, as Connie had indicated, donor advised funds, and that grant cycle is similar, but it's in the fall. And oftentimes those they're often families that have established a fund in their family name, and they'll get together, around Thanksgiving and decide where they want this year's grant monies to go to. And it's really a great way for families to stay together and to bond and to take care of the community that they come from.
What a nice tradition to pass on to the new generation.
It's awesome, yeah.
Yeah, it sure is. So through the grant process, you're really vetting these organizations, and you're making sure that the money, the donors' money, is being well placed in the community.
Absolutely. So our criteria and our rules, that sounds a little technical, but really the whole process is just designed to make sure that the money is well spent, that it's well invested, and that the projects that we are investing in are sustainable into the future.
Good stewards of the money.
Yes, ma'am.
The donors' intentions. Donors can come from anywhere in the world, I'm guessing, but the programs that you fund are primarily in Boone County, is that right?
That's correct, yes.
So if an organization is outside of Boone County but doing work within the county, are they eligible?
Yes.
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 Yes, of course. And we have many of our donors have a connection to Boone County, but don't live in Boone County, and some of them never have. But they may have family that do, or they may have a special heart for a need in Boone County, and so we have donors come from all areas and walks of life.
What are some of the challenges?
In Boone County, well, currently we are dealing with a significant downturn in the coal industry. Boone County, from its founding, has been tied to that industry, and in the last 5 years we've lost over 1,000 jobs. So that's 1,000 families that have had to find some other source of income. Yeah. At the same time, we've been just hit with this opioid addiction problem, and the two almost feed upon one another, and then that cascades into a whole host of other problems. We have an enormous foster child care issue coming up now, and so these are issues that many of the Boone County charities are taking on as an added responsibility, and of course they need added funds to meet those needs.
I understand that, absolutely. But there are some bright spots because you give away scholarships to students. Tell me a little bit about that.
We have 8 scholarships that are now available to Boone County students. Of course, what I was mentioned a little bit ago, the scholarships, the criteria of those scholarships are chosen by the donors when they're established.
When you say criteria, that means if I wanted to go to college and study mechanical engineering, if I wanted to fund a student that was going to college to study mechanical engineering, I could designate that within the fund agreement. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. We have, for instance, we have one scholarship that is dedicated for the education field. So a student that's going into the education field can apply for that scholarship. Our scholarship application, or our scholarship cycle, is open right now. So our scholarship applications can be downloaded from our website and submitted by either email or mail, or they can hand deliver it to us.
Okay, and that website is Boone County Foundation.org. Boone County Foundation.org.
Yes.
Okay.
And but our deadline is the first Friday of April each year, so they need to have that postmarked on that deadline in order for it to be,
considered,
accepted.
right?
Yes. And but we have a scholarship committee that's made up of volunteers in our community and a couple of our board members, and they review those scholarships and make the recommendations to our board of directors. And we usually get that decision late May, so students usually know around the 1st of June of the awards.
That's great. So you're giving hope to a lot of students.
Yes.
Year after year. And that is something that donors love and can contribute to, creating a scholarship fund. Tell me about the education mini grants.
Oh, this program we started back in 2018. It is a program that is dedicated just to help the Boone County teachers in the classroom, so that the teachers can apply for up to $500 for a project that they want to do in their classroom with their students.
Oh, wow.
So that is, applications are available they open up in the fall when school starts, and it's due October 31st each year. So it's a quick turnaround. They know by the 1st of December whether they're funded or not.
So I would imagine as school begins this fall, you will be bombarded with mini grants because
Yes.
teachers will have lots of ideas with the way they want to excite students being back in the classroom.
We hope so. We've given out 22 of those over the last 3 years.
Great. Yeah, that's great. Why should I give to Boone County Foundation? What is the reason, and what's in it for me as a donor?
Well, the satisfaction of knowing that you're meeting the needs of Boone Countyans, and we are a community, as we just discussed, that has some urgent needs. But our motto is for good forever. And oftentimes I'm asked, what are you going to do with my donation? And the simple answer is we're going to invest it. And the income from that's going to be available to put back into Boone County forever. And so our mission is to improve the quality of life for all Boone Countyans, and we do that by hoping to inspire people to care for one another through service and in charitable giving.
And you make that easy. I know that you have a payroll deduction system set up for Boone County
Board of
Education. So that's just an easy way to give, and I'm sure there's any sort of amount that can be deducted there.
Anybody that works for the Boone County Board of Education can direct that as little as $1 out of each paycheck be forwarded to the Boone County Community Foundation.
Yeah.
And we provide them with a tax deductibility statement at the end of the year, but the Board of Education manages that for us. And it's been very successful.
That's nice. Nice way to stay involved in your community with really kind of no effort whatsoever, right?
Right.
I like that. Makes it easy. I like easy things. There's a lot of information on your website. I know you have annual reports there. You have past donors and past grants that you've given out. So I would suggest that people check out the website. And again, that's boonecountyfoundation.org. I know that you have a very active Facebook page, so you're active on social media. They can call you, is that right?
Correct.
So the phone number is 304-369-0511. And Connie, I think we have your email address as well that people can get in touch with you, either to make a donation or to learn more about scholarships or grants.
Yes. My email is bccf@shafferlaw.net.
Great. I am so glad that you came to visit us today. Thank you. I hope that Boone County, it goes on another 20 years and 20 years and 20 years after that.
It's forever.
It is forever, just like the gifts that are going back into the
Yes.
community. So thank you so much for being here. Chip, Connie, come back and see us again.
We'll do it. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
This has been Community Foundations, brought to you by the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation. We'll see you next time.